and Wall Street is losing its mind, and Wall Street now wants to change the rules of the game because a bunch of people with accounts ranging from $500 to $2,500 are taking down the billionaires.
Hey folks, Twisted Christian here. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and get into a little bit about this whole war that is going on. And I've actually decided to go ahead and to be a part of this. I'm putting in what I can afford to lose. And I think that for a lot of people, they've taken chances and they're winning. And so I'm going to go a little bit over it. I have another stock list for you guys that's just these stocks that they're focusing on, and I've kind of rearranged them in a way that I thought that would be good for you guys, especially the cheaper ones. If you guys are wanting to look at some of those folks that are on this list, was on the list that I put out on the 18th of January, and some of those stocks have exploded. So, but before we get into that, I'd like to thank you guys for your support on the Patreon. The link is down below in the description. If you guys like anime, you guys want to support, I try to get some content for this channel on that channel before you guys, especially for some of the stocks that I have talked about, especially dealing with the Prophet Kim Clement stocks. All right, now folks, you see the Dow Jones has taken a little dive. And I'm going to tell you something, folks. I don't think it could take long to get 20,000. And I think that we are in the perfect storm with everything that's going on with this Reddit battle. So, and one of the things that I want to make clear, and especially if you watched the video with Prophet Solomon, cash out. You're going to see the stock market go up. You're going to see the stock market go down. And I think that this situation is the perfect storm for that, because there's going to be this tug of war. And a lot of people are, they're not paying that much attention to other stocks. And they're putting their money towards this whole war thing. And one of the things is that before GameStop went up, I was seeing people say, buy GameStop, buy GameStop. I didn't know. I didn't know that this thing was going on. And I said, well, GameStop is getting ready to crash. All the news reports all through 2020, it was done. But now look at it. This thing actually almost hit $500 in trading on a day during the week. I think it was trading around 500. It's absolutely insane for a short period of time. That's why sometimes when you are trading stocks, you gotta be ready to put your finger on that trigger, because you want to be the ones that are going to be try to sell at the top. So, but before I get into anything else, I am not a stock advisor. I'm just an average guy who has been learning how to trade and trying to take advantage of a system that can help me bring myself to a point of being wealthy. And that's why we talk about the prophetic stocks. So a lot of what I'm going to discuss in this video is what I am going to do. All right, folks. So before we get started, I want you guys to see this video. And it reminds me of the wealth transfer. Talking about the wealth transfer, right? And a lot of people think that the wealth transfer, you're just going to go to work and you're going to have a normal day, and then all of a sudden all this money is going to be transferred over to you. It's not going to work like that. You have to invest. And one of the things that with some of these Kim Clement prophecies, a lot of these stocks are very cheap, because he talks about multiplication, God using multiplication. We need to get in at the bottom of some of these companies and some of these new industries like energy and a lot of other things that we have discussed on this channel. there's this interview that is going on, and it reminded me of the wealth transfer. But just listen to what he has to say.
Push back against the short sellers because no one else even tried. So they did. A group of independent investors in a Reddit group called Wallstreetbets learned that hedge funds planned to short the stock of a fading retail company called GameStop. So the Reddit investors began buying shares of GameStop. And GameStop surged in value, ultimately up by more than 1,000%. The hedge funds, for all their calculation, hadn't seen that coming, and they lost billions as a result of it. One hedge fund lost so much money it needed a bailout from 2 other hedge funds. Meanwhile, some of the investors on Reddit got rich. But getting rich was not the whole reason they did it. They also wanted to send a message to the hedge fund managers. Here's one of the Reddit guys, a man called Justin Speak, explaining.
I'd be lying to say if there wasn't some pleasure out of the fact, I'm a pastor, and Jesus tells a story about this rich fool who has an overabundant harvest that's more than he can store. And rather than give the excess to those in needs, he chooses to build bigger and bigger barns to store it for himself. And rather than share the billions with the less fortunate, they've built bigger and bigger barns for themselves. And so, yeah, I was 100%. There was a part of me that thought, well, it will be fun to be a part of this moment, to see this moment where at some level overnight, these investors are losing their investing lives. It's being demanded from them. And they're left wondering what they get, who's going to get what they had prepared for themselves.
They've built bigger barns for themselves.
That conversation there reminded me of a wealth transfer. And Kim Clement talked about, if Kim Clement gives you a stock to invest in, that means you're going to have to learn how to trade. That means you're going to have to learn how to buy and sell. And you're going to have to learn how to read company information about the company. You don't have to be all some trading expert. At least need to learn the basics, right? You know the basics in buying currency, right? Either you go to your bank or you buy your currency online, and you've learned to do that. Now, when it comes to some of these parts of the wealth transfer, you have to learn how to do that, right? If Kim Clement said, research out the stock, well, not only do you have to research the stock, you got to learn how to research how to buy it. I mean, I'm just going to read a couple headlines. Why the Reddit army's battle against Wall Street may be just getting started. With this, right? Because I'm going to try to take advantage, and we're going to see some swings up and down, and I think this battle could lead to a stock market crash, right? And it won't be because the common investors will be losing their money. It'll be the wealthy billionaire hedge funds and all those people losing money. But what's going on is, of course, Robinhood and a few others, they've restricted stock sales, which should be illegal. But there is a list of 50 that obviously Robinhood has identified as they don't want you to buy. Right? And that's because of the whole everything that is with the Reddit group, Wallstreetbets. And you can look and you can follow them. You can follow what they're saying. Sign up. This whole Reddit forum has exploded. I think when I first looked at it, it may have been like around 3 million or something. And now you look and it's at 7.6. Is this the opportunity that I need to take? I'm not saying for you to take the opportunity. I'm saying for myself. Okay, so what they're saying is, starting, which it's already started, and you see right now AMC is around $13 a share. And it says here, Reddit wants to send AMC GameStop to the moon. Here's how, right? So I don't want to invest GME because I wouldn't be able to get that many. I probably wouldn't be able to afford to get one stock because I want to invest in a couple other things. But AMC, I was able to actually get in under $9 a share, and then now it's up to like 13. So come Monday, I will be buying as many shares as I can. Now it looks like Robinhood is trying to restrict. They don't even open up until like 7:30 in the morning, like my time or something like that. These different trading platforms are restricting you from buying. Then what you probably need to do is, well, what I am going to do is first, I have Webull. I still have Webull. I'm not using it. I'm using my TD Ameritrade, which I'm going to be switching out of that because of OTC stock fees. So say for instance, come tomorrow, if somehow I'm restricted on one platform from buying too many, I can go onto another platform and so on. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. For all I know, AMC could go down and be another opportunity to get in even more, even cheaper, and just wait and hold, because that's the whole thing. Is what they're saying is buying and then just holding. For a lot of people, it's just like GameStop. Like I'm sure probably a lot of people were selling off at 100 or 120, not thinking that it would reach almost 500. So here, according to Robinhood, and so now they're trying to place a limit on, see this, and right here, this is really warfare. And one of the things that I have learned is, especially dealing with Zion oil, and I want you guys to pay attention. And I've been doing some digging, and I didn't really understand the short markets very much until this situation came out. And when the situation came out, I really truly understood what was holding back Zion oil from reaching that dollar mark when it was on NASDAQ. And a lot of it has to do with these hedge funds, right? They're shorting the stocks that you have, that you're on a piece of news that you're supposed to get. That thing should have shot up to $2 and maybe leveled out around $1.50 instead of not shooting up to $1.50 and then coming all the way back down to 60 cents. So that's part of the whole stock market, the shorting. A lot of companies have gone bankrupt. A lot of people have lost their jobs, their lives, their investment because of these hedge funds going around and doing what they're doing. And all Wallstreet's bets is they're just fighting back against. It's a game. The way I look at it, it's a game. So they've been doing it to they've been doing it to the common person for all these years. And then yet, when we start figuring out the game, then things are changing. So I'm taking a chance. That's what I'm doing. I'm taking a chance. So here, also too, there's a lot of talk about Dogecoin and how they're trying to take it to $1. So, of course, I had already put some money into that. But there is a pretty wide list. And what I have done is I made a document. On one side of this document, it will be down below in the description. And I've put some of the cheaper ones that are on that list. And the ones marked in green is the ones that I have already purchased. So some of these were already on my other stock list that I put on the 18th. And one of them I took off because it had already skyrocketed from $2.89 to $70. So I took that one off. So I did put that list together because there are some cheaper ones. You guys may decide to get into some of these later on. Right now, from what I understand, is Wallstreetbets is focusing on AMC. And they're still working on GME, but Nokia is supposed to be the next one. So I have investments in that. And on the other side, these are a little bit more expensive stocks that are on the list. And basically what I'm looking for in these, I'm not looking to purchase any of these right now unless Wallstreetbets decides to say, hey, we're going to go after XM or Express, right? But I'm looking for volatility, right? So if this Star Peak transition drops from $27 to $12, then that's when we're like, okay, maybe I do need to get into that one. Maybe that's a good entry point. All of these particular stocks that I have on that list. So that's going to be my watch. Watch that when I see some of these stocks here on the other side drop about 50%. That's what I'm looking for in those. And so if we're successful over here, I don't know how they are going to do this, how they're strategizing, at least down the road a month from now. But also, too, I guess in a way I'm looking at this is that they are really, when you think about it, it's almost like being a hedge fund, right? And let me tell you something, folks. These hedge funds work together. So when you look at, like, say, the institutional holdings of Zion Oil, and you look to see when they were buying and when they were selling, and when they actually got out, right? And a lot of them got out before that August 31 announcement. So I'm not telling you guys to invest in any of these stocks. Every stock is a risk. I'm just going to be joining this revolution, and I'm also just focused on the prophetic stocks too as well. I will be discussing the one prophetic stock of Kim Clement, and some of you already know it, but maybe a lot of you who have been following this channel don't know exactly what I'm talking about, but I am still working on that video. So folks, I am excited to watch this and see this. I think this whole war thing could actually take us back down to 20,000. I think actually it could actually trigger many other things too as well. When things seem like they're at their worst because all these hedge funds, they're all losing money, the stock market is going down. It could very well happen, folks. This could be the catalyst. And these, like I said, when the virus came, I wasn't expecting the stock market to fall because of that. I was expecting the debt to take out the stock market. And then here we are in these strange times where now you have this war going on. And why didn't this start beforehand? Why did it wait till after the Biden administration was inaugurated? Now, they've been talking about it for about a month before all this became a reality. I find that interesting. So I'm pretty excited about this. I hope that it leads to some of the things that I think that it will lead to. And folks, and hopefully for myself and for many of you who are doing this already, that it's successful. But keep in mind, folks, if you pull out too early, but you've made a lot of money, don't fret if it continues to go up. But always secure your profits. Right? I'm going to try to hold on as long as I can. And you know, it might very well be if I have 30 Nokia, and as it goes up, you know, let's say if this scenario does take place, and I have 30. And say each one does rise up like GameStop, right? Even though Nokia should be a lot higher than what it is anyway, because it is a good company that does do pretty well. Maybe by the time it hits its peak, out of that 30 that I have, unless I'm day trading it, let's say you have that 30, by the time that it reaches the peak, I might only have 10 out of that 30 left. Because I do need to make some money. That's what part of it is too as well. Doesn't mean that I'll just sell them all off. So if these guys actually do what they say they're going to do, I'm going to be cautious about it. That's why I'm not investing in some of those stocks that are 25 or 30 or 40 bucks that they're, you know, trying to put on the hit list. But I'm going to join this thing, have some fun, and hope that all of our investments do very well, and that we take advantage of the ups and the downs, folks. That's the biggest thing. And the second thing during all this is that it's going to go up and down, folks. You're probably going to see a lot of these stocks go up and down. And you're going to see the Dow going up and down. And maybe that this could be the catalyst that brings us down to 20,000. They lost $79 billion. The hedge funds did. $79 billion. So tomorrow I'm just gonna put in what I can afford to lose. I'm gonna put some in AMC and I'm gonna put some in Nokia, and then down the road I'm gonna start looking at some of these other stocks that are cheaper in price. They're not really focused on some of those other ones right now, but I do want to get in on some of those others because costs. When I alerted you guys with my list on the 18th, cost was on that list. It was $289. And you can see where it's at now. It's absolutely nuts. So anyways, folks, I hope you enjoyed the video, and all the links down below to the Reddit and to this new stock list dealing with Wallstreetbets, that'll all be down below in the description. So anyways, folks, I thank you guys for listening. God bless. Be safe. And with that being said, Twitch the Christian out.